deep down, you already know what it is that you want to create. You know what it is that will make you feel happy and fulfilled if you create. But the reason why a lot of people don't feel happy, don't feel fulfilled where they are, is because we have all these ideas in our heads, but we are only thinking about it, but are not actually creating. And so, what I want to tell you, my love, is that fulfillment comes from you creating and not you mental masturbating on the idea. Hello, my loves. Welcome to my first ever YouTube video. My name is Chanye, and I am a spiritual life coach, helping women feel happy and fulfilled in their lives through unlocking your soul purpose and your creative potential. And in this video, I am talking about this paralysis when it comes to starting something, because this is something that I have felt for a long time myself. And even for this YouTube video, my past self wanted to make a video and talk about spirituality and all that, but I have been giving excuses on why I can't do that. And so I am making this video because I wish my past self knew this. I wish she has heard it. And I know that a lot of women get caught up on this too, like sitting on it and thinking, ruminating and marinating on the ideas over and over in your head and never actually creating, waiting a long time to create. And so I wanted to make this video to get you from the stage of thinking about an idea to actually going ahead and creating, because this is what's going to make the momentum. So first off, one of the biggest reasons why we don't create something is because we feel that we are not quote unquote there yet. Whether that is the ideal situation, we feel like we are not at that ideal place yet in order to create what it is that we desire. So this can look like feeling like we don't have enough knowledge yet. We don't have enough equipment, accessories yet. We are not in the right place. We are not in the right time, right? We are waiting for this hypothetical situation that feels like it would be a perfect time. And I know that a lot of people can even spend years and years and waste their lives waiting for this perfect moment to create. But what I want to tell you, my love, is that no amount of circumstance can actually replace the lack of confidence, the emptiness, the inadequacy that we feel in ourselves. And most of the time, it's because we feel like there is something inadequate in us. It's about you. Rather than this external situation, it is essentially the deep-rooted thing for most people. It's coming from you, feeling like you are not there yet. And what I want you to know is that the thing to know is that no matter what you add onto it, it will not replace that feeling. It will not change that feeling of inadequacy. For example, I would think that, if I live before I used to live in more like a dingy apartment, and I thought that, I needed a better lighting and I needed to be in nature and all of that. And then when I finally got to this place, my mind would be like, well, I need a better camera. I need this, I need that. My skin is not perfect. My hair is not perfect, and all of that, right? The list of ideas just keep coming up. And it's the same thing as like finding a little thread on your sweater. Once you start pulling out one thread, then you start seeing more and you start pulling up, and then you find so many threads in there and it never ends. And the same is the thing for the excuses on why we can't start. And so what I want to share here is that it's not necessarily your outside circumstance, but it's our own self-image that matters, because it's also the same thing as like wanting to be beautiful. We can buy all the dresses in the universe. We can buy all of that. We can buy all those designer clothes and all of that, but we will not feel pretty. We will not feel beautiful if we deep down believe that you aren't beautiful. And right, the same thing for getting plastic surgery, getting facial removal or extraction, whatever that is. We will not feel perfect if we don't feel that if we have a belief deep down that we are not, and no outside circumstance can change that. So the first primary thing to know, my love, is that it's all about our relationship to ourselves and how we believe about ourselves. And another reason why we wait on things is because we are also afraid of what will happen if we actually create. Like, I know people who are like, oh, I want to talk about this on social media. I want to start speaking like this, do something that nobody is doing, right? We have all those ideas, but then we get paralyzed on what to do because the voice in our head is like, how will people respond? What will people think? How will people react to our creations? So before we even actually create, we are thinking of all those scenarios, possible scenarios of how it could go wrong, instead of being excited about just being curious about what will happen. So the second reason why is because we start thinking of holding on to those negative scenarios, the consequences that can happen, and we are afraid of it rather than being curious of what could happen. And so whenever in my mind I have those kind of thoughts, something that I like to think to myself is like, then what? Like, then what are you gonna do? Like, okay, if no one watches this video, no one watches this, then what? Right? Are you gonna be like, oh my god, I am a failure, nobody likes my YouTube video, nobody watches my video? Are you gonna be like that and just stop creating for the rest of your life? Like, is that going to stop you? Or are you going to come back at it again and reiterate, like, do better? Right? What will you do about it? Those are the only two options of what can happen, like what we can choose to do about it. No matter what how other people respond and external situations are, that's the only choice that we can do. And the thing to know is that if we do something, if we create, it's actually going to inform you. It's going to be way better. It's going to inform you way more than you just ruminating and thinking about that in your head. And the same thing with content writing. A lot of people are caught up in trying to find that perfect strategy from the perfect coach, and then trying to word it in the perfect way. Like, we get caught up into overthinking. But what I want you to know is that you just putting it out, whatever that comes through in your own voice, in your way, it's actually going to teach you way more than actually thinking about what to write. So actually creating teaches you way more than thinking about it. So a mindset switch that I like to do is that with everything that I create, whether it's a blog post or a YouTube video, podcast, with everything that I'm creating, I'm doing it to learn. I'm not doing it to be perfect. And that is such a powerful belief, because instead of holding on to that fear of what people will think and fear of not doing it right, rather than that, when your mindset switch onto I just want to learn. I just want to learn and see what's going to happen. If you are open and curious and you want to learn, it gets you going. You actually learn way more. You actually learn the actual strategy that works for you, okay? Instead of looking at other people and trying to mimic them and overthinking of what other people do and how to copy them. Rather than that, when you actually do it, you find the best strategy that works for you. So what I want you to know is that just starting the thing is going to teach you way, way more about your art, about your craft, about anything that you want to create, whether it's a business or a project idea or whatever. And so it's way more freer to be a student of life rather than needing to be a teacher from the get-go. And my love, lastly, what I want you to know is that starting is always the hardest part. Like in science, there is this thing in chemistry where you see that if molecules are to have a reaction, the first part where they come into reaction, that's actually the lump. There is this lump called the activation energy that the molecules need to overcome in order to do the reaction. So the same thing like that in whatever creative practice is that once you actually start and get going, the rest is going to come easy. And so the most of the resistance is only it comes from thinking about it. But when you actually do it, when you actually allow this action to flow through you, it's not as hard as we think. And so give yourself some short time. Just allow yourself to, however that this creative energy wants to move through you, let it move through you, and just give yourself some time, a short time, maybe like time like in 5 minutes, I will create that. Just get it started. Just even this decision that, okay, I'm starting and actually doing it, once you get going, then things are going to flow. And like for me, when I was thinking of doing this YouTube channel, I was like, okay, I'm just going to write down what I'm going to say and write down the outline of it. And once I start doing that, it's way more easier. Like the rest comes easy, whether that is the filming stage or like the talking stage, the setup, everything gets figured out once you get started on the first initial act. So it's know that with every creative act, it is just like opening up a tap water for water to flow in, like for more and more water to come. All you need to do is turn the tap water on. And once the tap water is on, more of what you need in order to create is going to come. And I like to think that creativity comes in connection to the divine, something greater than us is actually supplying us those creative ideas. So all we need to do from our part is this decision. It is this action that proves to the universe or the divine, whatever that you call it. It's this action that shows that yes, you want to do it. You are on it. All you need to do is to show the higher guidance, the creativity, the divine that is supplying us with all these ideas. All we need to do is to act on it. And once you act on it, everything that you need, all the creative ideas, they are going to come to you. Like if you want to start a YouTube channel, all those different other YouTube channel and ideas are going to come to you, and the only thing that you need to do is to get it started. So that is what I want to tell you, my love, today. And for any of you who are just on this stage of wanting to start something, I hope this video helps you. And so yeah, I will see you on the next video.